Hey there, it's Dave with Flipperforce. It is February 23rd, 2022. Just wanted to share a quick update on some of the tools and features that we've been working on and what we've got planned over the next month or two. So I'm on our Flipperforce website here and on our software roadmap. You can access that by going up here to features and going down to software roadmap. And this is where we host all of our information about the stuff that we've been working on, the new tools and features that we've been launching, and then it also has a list of everything that we have planned for the near future. So you can see we've got our completed column over here. We've got our work that's in progress. We've got our stuff that we're going to be working on next, and then we've got our backlog of stuff that we're going to be working on over the next month or two. So as far as recently completed stuff, you can click on these to see the article, see the video tutorials that we've been posting for that. You can also go to our changelog here, and our changelog just has a detailed list of basically everything that we've been launching up to the app. And so you can see the latest thing that we just launched was our new BRRRR rental analysis settings. This is just an area in Flipperforce where you can set up all of your custom analysis settings up front for analyzing your BRRRR deal. So that way you can set up your operating expenses, your financing assumptions, all that kind of stuff up front for your rental analysis, so that way you don't have to enter that stuff every time you create a new project and want to analyze a new deal. So that's one of the biggest new features we just launched. Otherwise, we've been doing a bunch of miscellaneous stuff throughout the software. We launched a bunch of new photo tools. So we launched our new photo log at the beginning of January, and so we've been improving our photos throughout the software. So you can see on the investment packet here, we gave you the ability to reorder your images on the investment packet. We've been doing some other miscellaneous stuff throughout the software just to improve your user experience with regard to photos. We improved some of the user management invitation stuff. We made some improvements to our accounting reports. So right now it's tax season, so we've gotten some feedback from some of our users that wanted some tweaks and changes to our existing reports. So we made those improvements for them. So obviously if you do have any kind of feedback, just let us know and we'll try to work that stuff into our current work log. Otherwise, we've also made a bunch of mobile and tablet improvements for those users that are going to be using the software on your tablet or your phone. We launched some new improvements there, and some other improvements to our pipeline views that we got there as well. So that's a quick update on what we've been working on. Again, you can just access that changelog if you want to dive in deeper to any of those changes. But what I really want to talk to you about is some of the stuff that we're currently working on and what we're going to be working on here in the near future. So you can see we've got our in progress column here. This is the stuff that we are currently working on. So this is stuff that we'll hopefully have launched here in the next week or two. So be on the lookout for this stuff. The first thing on here is the investment report enhancements. So if you click on this little see what's cooking link, that'll open up some windows for you to see some screenshots on some of the new improvements that we are going to be launching. So we're going to be revamping our investment packet. So basically revamping our financial overview page, just prettying it up a little bit, adding some new information about the project timeline, adding a new chart, just doing some stuff that really will help brighten up the report and add a little bit more information for your investors. Revamping the property information page so that way we can add in some of the structural modifications and stuff, project description, stuff like that. Adding in our project capital overview table. So this is a new feature that we added to the Flip Analyzer results page. It's currently not in our investment packet, so we wanted to add that in there so that way you can have that in your investment packet as well. Adding in some new financing overview stuff. So right now we also don't have a lot of lender loan information in that packet. So we just want to add in all of that additional information that we've got in the analysis process and make sure we're getting it into our packet there. So those are just kind of some miscellaneous stuff that we want to do to the investment packet. Structural modifications. So this is a new feature that we're going to be adding to our just general property information page. So right now basically you can only have the existing structure specs, but a lot of you are doing rehabs or renovations or additions that are adding square footage. So you can see our new addition here, we're going to be able to add a structural modification. So you can see the existing structure of this property was 2,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 parking spots. We're going to end up finishing the basement, so we've added in a structural modification, and that's going to add 500 square feet. We're also adding a bedroom and adding a bathroom. Then we're also going to be doing an addition off the back side of the house for 400 square feet, so that's going to add an additional 400 square feet, plus another bedroom and a bathroom. So for those of you that are doing rehabs that involve additions or remodeling of existing space like a basement, this will allow you to adjust the structural specs of the property. So you can see it started off as a 2,500 square foot property. Now after our renovations, it's going to be 3,400 square feet, and it's going to be 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. So that's some new functionality that we're adding in there to the property overview page. And again, that's going to feed over to our new property information sheet. So you can see those structural modifications will feed over to the property information sheet that we've got on our revamped investment packet. So hopefully you'll like those new improvements if you are doing additions and stuff like that. Project duplication improvements. So this is another kind of general platform improvement that we've been wanting to do for a while. This will just give you a little bit more control on duplicating your projects. Right now you can duplicate your projects in FlipperForce, but some of the stuff isn't duplicated, like your estimate and your expenses and stuff like that. So we want to just give you a little bit more control to pick and choose what stuff you want to duplicate. Some of you are using the duplication stuff to create kind of a template. So you've created a master template and then you're duplicating your master template, which has all your common information and data that you have for a typical project. So this will give you a little bit more control there. Others are using it for more of like a scenarios setup, where maybe you are running a flip analysis, you want to duplicate it and run a secondary analysis or a third analysis on the same exact project. So this will help you do that as well. So that's just kind of some general improvements that we want to make to some existing functionality. Otherwise, we've got some other report stuff coming down the pipeline. So you'll see like the next 5 or 6 items here are all related to reports. We're going to be tweaking and improving our existing reports, and then also adding in some new reports here as well. So the scope of work report, this is the report that you can use to build a scope of work for your contractors, to tell them exactly what they need to include in their bid proposal. So a lot of this has to do with just improving the overall usability of the scope of work report, but we're also adding in some additional information here. So as far as usability, we're going to make it so that way you can customize and edit the data directly on this report. So some of this you can edit directly on the report, but as far as like the description, the quantity, stuff like that, you have to go back to the estimator, so it's just kind of a pain to do that. So we want you to be able to edit it directly on the report if you need to change anything. So if you need to drag and drop anything, edit a description, you'll be able to do that directly on the report. Otherwise, we added in some other columns here. So we added in a material column. This will allow you to designate the material that you want the contractor to include in their bid proposal. Right now we don't have that column, we just have the description and quantity column, so we just want to add in some additional information, so that way you can say, hey Mr. Contractor, I want you to include these type of shingles in your bid proposal, so that way everybody's bidding the same thing. You can also spec out the type of doors that you're using, the type of tile, stuff like that. And then we added a responsibility column, so who's responsible for purchasing the material and installing the material. So the CFCI and OFCI, that's kind of more of a commercial construction term, but basically it just means contractor furnished, contractor installed, or owner furnished and contractor installed, which basically just designates who's responsible for purchasing the material and who's responsible for installing the material. So a lot of times, like roofing for example, you'll want the contractor to purchase the roofing material and install the roofing material, but on stuff like a vanity or something like that, that might be something that's more of like an owner furnished contractor installed item. So you're going to go out and purchase the materials from Home Depot, you're going to have it delivered on site, and then the contractor is going to install it. So that's a new designation that we want to add in there, just so you can designate and make sure that the contractor knows what their responsibility is for each item. Are they supposed to be providing the materials and installing it in their bid, or is the owner going to be providing the materials and the contractor is just responsible for installing those? So that's some of the changes we're going to be making to that scope of work report. Also going to be adding in a general notes area at the top. Right now we have that, but we're going to provide you with a template of information that you can have for your general notes. Next is estimate report improvements. So one of the things that we've done elsewhere in the app, and we've started to add in property photos throughout the app, we want to give you the ability to add in photos to the estimate page. So kind of similar to what you can do on that scope of work report, where you can add photos to your scope of work report. You can also add in photos to your estimate report. And then the next report that we want to do is we want to add in a completely new materials list report. So our repair estimator, you can currently add in material descriptions, material SKU numbers, links and other stuff like that. All of that information just kind of sits in the estimator, and we don't really have a great spot for a report or an export or anything like that. So that's where this new material report will come into play. It'll allow you to add in your materials that you want to use on your project. So you can see we've got the material description of what that material item is. It's got the SKU number, what the quantity is, what the unit price of that material is, and what our total budget is. And then we can use that to, you can give that to your contractor, or it can be used by you as the investor to create a material shopping list. So that way you can go out and print this off, have a list of all of the materials that you need to purchase on your property, take that to Home Depot, use it to order your materials, stuff like that. So there's going to be some additional tools and features that we want to add to this, so that way you can create purchase orders and stuff like that for Home Depot or certain stores. But this will be kind of the basic version that we launch here, hopefully in the next couple weeks. New private lender report. So we have our investment packets that we have that are really kind of built for just about anybody. So if you're just wanting to provide a professional investment packet, just kind of generally summarizing the financial info of your flip, that's what that investment packet's for. But our new private lender report, this is going to be a report that's specifically tailored for a private lender. So you're telling the lender, hey, if you lend me $100,000 on this project, I'll give you a 12% interest rate for 6 months, and this is how much interest you'll be able to earn over that 6-month term, and this is how many points I'm going to be offering up front, and this is what your total return will be if you lend money on this house flip project. So it'll have all the other stuff that our investment packet has, which has like a cover page, property photos, a financial overview page, all that kind of stuff. But then we're going to be adding in this lender returns page, which will be specifically showing the lender how much money they can make if they lend on the project. New inspection report. So on our estimator, we do have a tool that's called the inspection widget, and that's just a tool that you can use to quickly document the condition of each category that you've got on your project. Right now you can just use that directly on the estimator, but we felt like it would be helpful if we could take all that data and information that you're inputting into the estimator and put it into a printer-friendly report. So that way you could basically create an inspection report for your project. So if you wanted to go through here and say the roofing condition's in bad shape, it needs to be replaced, make some notes about what the condition looks like. You can even upload some photos here of what the roof looks like, and then you could use that. You could give that to your contractor, or maybe if you need to give it to a business partner or lender, kind of showing them what the existing condition of the property is. This will be a new report for you that basically takes all that inspection information and puts it into a nice printer friendly and shareable report for you. And so that's everything in our next up column. We've got some stuff on the back burner as far as like doing some dashboard improvements, stuff like that. Otherwise, we've got some other stuff coming down the backlog, which has to do with our estimator changes. So we'd like to make some changes to the estimator that allows you to customize the area tabs that you've got up top. Right now it's broken down by exteriors, interiors, MEP, and other. We're going to make that customizable, so that way if you want to change those, you'll be able to customize it for different types of properties. So this example shows like a duplex. So you've got the overall exteriors of the property where you're painting the overall exterior, you're maybe replacing the roof on the entire property, but then you're going to have your separate units where maybe you want to isolate the cost for unit 1 and unit 2. And our new setup will allow you to customize that. We'll create our own templates in here. We'll probably offer you a duplex template and some other templates that you can use to help you get started. But ultimately, the plan is to make these areas completely customizable for you, so that way you can build out whatever kind of template that you want for whatever type of structure you want. So if you were doing like a 20-unit apartment building, you could technically create 20 different units in here and really isolate the cost for each individual unit and kind of create a scope of work for each individual unit. So that's our plans with that, just hopefully improving the overall flexibility and customization of our estimator tool, so that way if you want to estimate different types of projects, you'll be able to do that. Otherwise, we've got an activity feed that we'd like to add. This will just kind of be an overall project activity feed showing all the project activity that's happened on a project. We do think there's probably an opportunity to add in global activity feeds, like a workspace activity feed showing all the activity that's happened in your entire workspace on every single project. There's probably even opportunities to add in specific tool activity feeds. So if you wanted to see specific changes on a specific project schedule, maybe there's an opportunity to have like a project schedule activity feed that shows schedule changes or task list changes, stuff like that. Otherwise, we've got a My Task view, which is an overall global workspace view for managing all of your tasks in one location. We've got a material manager database that we'd like to add that you can use to add all of your SKUs that you commonly use on all of your projects, and then you'll be able to pull those into your estimate to create a shopping list and report, stuff like that. Premium property data. Right now, Zillow kicked us off their data API. They shut that down for all paid subscription services, unfortunately. So we are currently looking at a new premium property data that'll be able to pull in even better information than what Zillow was offering. So property sold history, the owner information, how much they owe on the property, stuff like that. So we'll be hopefully adding that in the near future as well. Then we're getting into comps calculator, wholesale calculator, all the way down the list. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we want to get accomplished just over the next couple months, but we do have an even bigger roadmap of major improvements that we'll be making over the rest of the year. So rest assured, we're working tirelessly to always continue to improve the FlipperForce platform for you. If you do have any kind of feedback or suggestions, just let us know.